Hey, it's me. So, there comes a point in this work where, after all the digging you've done, you finally hit the thing that's been blocking you. And I don't mean just one habit or pattern, like the whole cluster of what's negative in you, the part that distorts, hides, and resists. At first, the mind wants to explain it away. It has its theories about why life feels hard, illness, old wounds, bad luck. And while some of those ideas may hold a bit of truth, they miss the root. The root is the part of us that turns away from love, that twists truth, that chooses separation over openness. For a long time, people misunderstood this. The knowledge that our own distortion creates our suffering was weaponized, used as a way to shame and punish. Religion, in many cases, took it to that extreme. Later came the opposite swing, rejecting all personal responsibility and seeing ourselves only as victims. But here we are now in a time where we can see it more clearly without the old punishments. To see that pain comes when we close to truth and to love. And to see that we're the only ones who can change that. When you really look inside and stop justifying, you see it. The parts of you that would rather turn away than face, that would rather keep control than trust, that would rather hide in distortion than stand in what's real. It's not easy to look at, but it's the place where the pattern begins. This is what I call the negative nucleus, like a dense knot where all those inner movements gather. And once you see it, there's a strange thing that often happens. Even when you know it's there and you see the harm it causes, you still might not want to give it up. There's a fear in that, a voice that says, if I'm not ready to change, why would I even want to see more? That's a common point on the path, and it's one you can't bypass. Because real change only happens when you've seen the full truth of it without running from the discomfort or pretending it's not there. If you've been walking this path for a while, you've already made changes. You've already felt moments of renewal, times when life felt more open and rich than you thought possible. Those moments happen because certain inner processes have already taken place. Now, for those of you who are at the point where you see the negative nucleus clearly and still feel stuck, there's another step. And this step is about the real meaning of faith and the role of doubt. The kind of faith that I'm talking about has nothing to do with blind belief. It's not about closing your eyes and hoping something is true. Real faith is active. It starts with simply allowing the possibility that there's another way to live. Even if you don't yet know what that way is, even if you can't feel it yet, you just make space for it in your mind. You open to the idea that there might be something beyond the old reactions you've known your whole life. That's the first step. And it's not gullible, it's intelligent. It's what any good scientist does before making a discovery, allowing for the unknown. Without that openness, nothing new can enter. The second step is turning toward the deeper part of you, the part I call the divine self, and asking it to show you the new way. You may get small glimpses at first. You'll feel it, then lose it, then find it again. This back and forth is part of the process. The third step is the bigger leap. It's when you've seen enough to trust that this deeper reality exists, and you decide to let go of the old ways of finding safety. You stop relying on the negative patterns to protect you, and you hand your life over to truth and love. Not because it will give you an instant reward, but because they're worth living for in themselves. This leap feels risky at first. But if you're honest, you'll see it's not much of a risk at all. If there's no deeper reality, you lose nothing by trusting in it. But if there is, and you've had even a taste of it, you have everything to gain. When you live this way, you eventually reach the fourth step. Faith stops being an idea and becomes your lived reality. You know it in your bones. Even if you have moments of falling back into old patterns, you no longer confuse them with what's real. You know where home is now. On the other side of this is doubt. Doubt can be healthy. It keeps you from being naive. It asks you to test things. And doubt can also be dishonest, especially when it's used to avoid facing something you don't want to see. Sometimes people take pride in their doubt, thinking it means they're smart. But if you never question your own doubts, they become just another form of blind faith, faith in your own limited view. The most useful kind of doubt is the one you turn on your own fear, your own assumptions, your own resistance. You doubt the idea that your fear is the final truth. You doubt the belief that you have to stay as you are. And that kind of doubt will always move you toward real faith. The way through all of this, the meeting point between true faith and true doubt, is to center your life on truth and love. Long before you feel certain about God or any higher order, you can make those your compass. Let them guide what you choose, how you speak, and where you stand. If you do that, step by step, you'll experience for yourself the reality that all along has been waiting for you to say yes. Love you. Connect soon.